What does it mean for the world economy? What does it mean for the global trading system?
Overall, it was a win-win game. China gained. Look at its economic performance, which has been stellar for the last 20 years. And one of the reasons why it has been so great is because it has modernized its economy under the pressure of foreign competition. And it has been good for the rest of the world because overall, producers from outside China gained a lot of business, a lot of volumes, a lot of access to the Chinese market. And that's what the numbers say. 15 years ago, imports in China were much lower than exports. The surplus was 10% of GNP. Today, it is 1% of GNP, which means that imports have increased more than exports, contrary to what many people believe. So China benefited from lower prices and better quality of goods and services, and the rest of the world increased its growth while exporting much more to China.
Looking forward, what area you would expect to see China playing a larger role?
If you look at the future, I think the area where China will have to increase its participation in world trade is services. If you look at goods on the one side, China is opened okay, but when you look at services, financial services, household services, there still is a lack of competition on the Chinese market, which further market opening would help.
Some people have argued that the pandemic would help accelerate job reshoring and rebuilding world supply chains. But I remember you once said in an interview in 2020, globalization is efficient and painful. Deglobalization is inefficient and painful. So almost 2 years since COVID first hit the world, do you still believe in what you have said?
Yes, I mean, you're right. The COVID pandemic at some stage, because of the impact it had on the economies, led to a moment of deglobalization. But in my view, this is a short-lived moment because of the shock of this virus and the necessity to protect populations, which has led to a moment of more economic nationalism. But I think this is relatively short-lived, and that the next stage of globalization will be different from the previous one. But overall, I think economic interdependence, which trade reveals, will keep growing on this planet, not least because the digitalization of economies and because data flow are now an enormous part, although unaccounted, of world trade.